You asked for it, so we're delivering. We've covered it with the rest of the Borg Busters, but we've singled out and expanded on the starship classes that made up the anti-Borg armada. Now it's time for that one. That at a glance from a forward silhouette could look like the Defiant, but on closer inspection has nacelle pylons that look flimsier than Tuvok getting hypo-sprayed by the Doctor. And they send it up against the Borg, but at least it has ablative armor.
Tough little ship.
As you've seen from a thumbnail and title, we're breaking down the Norway class. A bit more this time. And Jack, and let's get into it. Before we warp into this video, I know you're expecting Lieutenant Commander Adam. Unfortunately, we've been admitting him to sickbay as he's got some flu at the minute, but don't worry, I'm here to keep you company. If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Central. You can also follow us on social media for daily updates on the Star Trek universe. Oh, by the way, we're trying a new editing format for this video. If you like it or have some feedback for us, please do comment below. Speaking of comments, as always, please answer your thoughts in the comment section, because if you're talking about Star Trek, then we want to hear about it. Okay, engage. The Norway-class medium cruiser type entered service in 2369, based at the Advanced Starship Design Bureau on Earth Space Dock. One of the smaller classes built to battle the Borg, reaching a mere 364.7 meters long, crewed by a standard of only 190 personnel with a maximum evacuation limit of 500 souls, and a configuration intended to lessen its target profile. Its widest angles being dorsal and ventral. This made it a much smaller target compared to earlier Starfleet designs that featured long neck structures between the saucer and engineering hull, or elongated nacelle struts between the hull and nacelles. The very flat motive was very deliberate. Starfleet had an aging fleet, and its combat deficiency was all too apparent at the Battle of Wolf 359. Rather than a circular or oval saucer, the Norway sported a more aggressive arrowhead design for the primary hull, with beams running backwards to pylons to support the warp nacelles. The engineering hull is mounted atop the primary hull behind the bridge, covering the two large shuttle bays, also housing a wide range of support craft including shuttlecraft, pods, worker bees, runabouts, and maintenance platforms. The Norway was armed with 2 photon launchers with a magazine of 225 torpedoes, backed up by a Type 10 phase array at various points around the hull, including on the trailing edge of the split hull struts. The vessels launched later, and those existing, were retrofitted to utilize, though for a small craft it had a compact but powerful warp core, giving the top warp performance of 9.7 for 12 hours. It was thanks to an advancement in propulsion technology, which meant powerful engines could be incorporated into a much smaller area. This new round of shipbuilding resulted in the Akira class, Norway class, Sabre class, and Steamrunner classes, all of which were much more combat orientated than the average Starfleet design. The preceding centuries had seen periods of conflict and tension for Starfleet, but these years had largely been peaceful as the Federation had grown. Starfleet had developed ships primarily for exploration, scientific, and diplomatic purposes, but the threat of the Borg changed that. It was not long before the all-new combat ship saw action against the Borg in 2373, when reports came in that a Borg cube had destroyed a colony on Ivor Prime, leading to Vice Admiral Hayes mobilizing a fleet comprised of a Borg-busting badass vessels, of which at least 4 Norway classes, and they were sent to intercept the cube in the Typhon sector. After this, the Norway class was not seen again, save for a computer display graphic at Starbase 375. The space station acted as a gathering point for the 2nd to 5th fleets prior to operational return during the Dominion War. A notable vessel of this class, the USS Budapest NCC 64923, was named after the Hungarian capital. In beta canon, the Norway class would remain in service into the 2380s. In Star Trek Online, the 2390s would come with a new prototype of the class, building off of the design of the Norway class, named the USS Oslo, and hence the new Oslo-class starship would be born. The new style of ships coming in the 2390s in the Star Trek Online timeline would favour modularity, something learned after the Dominion War and needing to ensure ships could be repaired or even built quickly. We can see elements of this in Star Trek Picard, with ship modules being consistent between various ship classes, such as the Sagan-class USS Stargazer, the Constitution-3 class USS Enterprise G, Need Titan A, and even the Odyssey-class USS Enterprise F. Whether the Norway class made it into the 25th century is unknown. We know its compatriots in the Borg Buster series of ships, with the Akira, Defiant, Steamrunner class, and others being present in 2401 at the Frontier Day celebration or incident. There are even their successor classes such as the Elita class being active in the 25th century, so who knows if some Oslo classes may be around. The Norway class starship was one of the 4 CGI models designed by Alex Jaeger, once referenced by him as being a Voyager-esque for the Battle of Sector 001. During pre-production of Star Trek First Contact, the producers approved alternative backups for ship names and registries. The ship scale sheet showing the names can be found on John Eve's blog, aptly named Eavesdropping. The CGI model of the Norway was constructed by Industrial Light and Magic, ILM by Larry Tan and Paul. A year later, ILM was requested by Paramount to hand over their CGI models for First Contact, all of them, to Digital Muse for reprogramming in the Lightwave 3D software, in preparation for use in Deep Space Nine Season 6 episode Sacrifice of the Angels. But the Norway design was never featured again. One of the most apparent factors of the ship not appearing following Star Trek First Contact, according to VFX artist David Stipes, was that the Norway needed to be resurfaced and modified. This was apparently never completed, and, as rumour had, someone messed up and the files of the ship were completely lost, and Star Trek The Official Starships Collection by Eaglemoss and Hero Collector. A new CGI model was constructed from the ground up for representation in the publication, adhering to the specifications given in the Deep Space Nine technical manual, a chore handled by the digital modeler Fabio Passaro, finally giving fans a detailed close-up of this iconic starship class. Who knows what the future holds for the Norway class? The Steamrunner has made its turn, as has the Akira, Defiant, and even the Sovereign has had more representation than its previous solitary Enterprise E variant. The Sabre class, which hasn't made a direct appearance, the inclusion was there with a Sabre-sized Steamrunner, which Mariner stole from Tom Paris, Nick Lucano. If they put that much effort into recreating it for a magazine series, surely someone holds the file to bring the ship back to our screens. Would you like to see the Norway class back on screen, maybe in a Star Trek Legacy series? Who knows? If you want to keep up to date on all the latest Star Trek news, lore, and more, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Trek Centric. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper, my friends. Goodbye.